Hey, welcome to the Actors Side. I'm Pete Hammond, and today we have, well, what can I say? Margo Martindale. I am so glad you're here. You know I'm your
Pete,
#1 fan.
You're the best. You've been very, very sweet to me.
You know, she's on BoJack Horseman now.
Yes.
It's an animated series, and they keep referring to you on the show as the esteemed character actress Margo Martindale. You know, you're playing yourself, essentially.
Yeah, I am.
Because you are esteemed.
Well, if somebody said so, I guess so. I just read somewhere that I'll be doing a lot more this year. That's news to me.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, it's congratulations on your latest Emmy, which
Thank
you
you
just
very
won
much.
a couple of months ago, and you've won 3 Emmys in the last 5 years. That's not bad.
It's shocking. It really is. It's shocking.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that happened, but I couldn't be happier.
You were nominated for a Tony for your Broadway debut in 2004 with Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. But the award I really want to talk about that means probably the most to you was Miss Jacksonville High School of 1969. I read somewhere you...
That's so true. Miss JHS.
How do you go from that to, you know, this?
Oh, well, you know, whatever. It's a small town. That's all I can say. Very small town.
Yeah. But that's where you're from. You're from Texas.
I'm from a small town in East Texas, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I'm Miss Jacksonville High School.
Yeah. And did the acting bug hit you then?
It hit me. It hit me in when I was about 16. I was a cheerleader, and I'd been, and the choir teacher came to me and said, "You have a very loud voice. Will you come audition for the musical?" I said, "Well, sure." And I did, and I got the lead in Bye Bye Birdie, Rosie Alvarez.
Oh my gosh.
And it was done.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
So when did it get serious for you that you knew this was going to be a profession?
There was a little tiny college in my hometown, Lon Morris College. It was a junior college, but it was a Methodist school, and they had the most famous acting teacher in Texas teaching there, Zula Pearson. I went there on the scholarship, and I got Best Actress my freshman year and sophomore year, and then in my sophomore year, I went to University Resident Theater Association auditions and got every school. I got a scholarship from every school there except one, Stevens College, and I chose the University of Michigan.
Wow.
It's just where I belonged.
Yeah. And you still remember the one you didn't get, though.
Stevens College.
Actors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're never going to forget the one.
Never going to forget it. Never going to forget it.
Yeah. So in the University of Michigan, and then you were in an actors group, though, later on, right? It was called the Actors Theater of Louisville.
Actors Theater of Louisville. It was, it premiered many of the best American plays came out of that theater, and many wonderful actors I met there, Kathy Bates and Holly Hunter and Chris Cooper. And
wow, all out of there?
Out of there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea at the time, looking at working with these people, that you were all going to go on and be famous stars?
All I knew is that I loved acting. I didn't even know that when I went to the Loeb Drama Center at Harvard to do that show, that my next stop would be New York. I didn't even know that I was going to New York.
Really?
I was just taking a job.
Yeah. But it was always theater.
All theater.
Yeah.
All theater, all the way through the 90s.
So you did a lot of movies, smaller roles, but a lot of, you worked with Clint Eastwood on Million Dollar Baby. And,
yeah, I did George Miller on Lorenzo's Oil.
Yeah.
And, and Robert Benton in his last 4 movies. They seem to have more say-so in who they want to cast. So even if you weren't a star, if they liked you, they were stars, so they could cast you.
Yeah, which is the way it should be.
It is the way it should be, but it's not. If somebody's coming up, they almost have to get a star for their movie to be made.
Yeah.
But the guys that are stars can really cast their taste.
Yeah. It's
makes
interesting.
a big difference.
I wonder if, do you have the same appreciation now that make you audition, or whether I said, I want Margo Martindale in this project. Do you have an appreciation for that?
I have such an appreciation for it, though I must tell you, I love the audition process.
You do? Why?
Yeah, because I like being able to go in and win something, and to go in and show that I am the right person for this, so that when you go to the job, you don't have to be afraid that maybe he made a mistake in casting me in this.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it,
Right.
and I've shown you what I do. So I like that.
That gives you an extra layer of security going into
It gives
the
you
job.
an extra layer of
Yeah.
security.
Yeah, I can see that, because you still have that actor's insecurity if you're
I
walking on the
don't-
first day on a movie set that you
I hope you always do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that help drive you into that?
Yeah,
to
it
be,
does, and and it helps me prepare more and more and more to not disappoint.
I loved when you won your first Emmy as Mags in Justified, which is the role to end all roles. I have to say that one season.
Greatest role I think I've ever done.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that going right in the first episode?
I knew it when I read it, that I had to play that part.
Wow.
And so when they asked me to audition for it, and my agent told me what it was, I said, "Do I have to audition for that? I mean, a drug woman in the mountains of Kentucky? I mean, I thought, don't people know that I can do that now?" And then I read it and I said, "Oh, I'll go anywhere to audition for this,"
Wow.
because it was so different and so right for my imagination.
And you know how many people were rooting that the Television Academy would recognize that and pick that out,
Yeah,
and
so
that they did.
wonderful.
But you almost seemed surprised up there to me, holding that.
Yeah, I mean, it was shocking, surprising. You could think it for a moment, but you never allow yourself to. And so it was a wonderful night, wonderful.
And you said, I hope this opens up opportunities for older actors in the business. I mean, you really pointed that out.
And I think that it has helped.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have helped, but there seems to be a lot of older women who are getting more and more powerful parts.
That's a new trend.
I think it's a new trend, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, all of a sudden?
Well, I mean, what are we doing? Going to bed? Sitting around playing cards? No. Everybody. I mean, yeah. It's interesting, and that's what Sally Field was saying yesterday or day before yesterday about getting older. She said, "We're alive, and here we are. I mean, give us the meat."
Yeah, I mean, look at a movie that I want to talk about with you that you are so wonderful in, The Hollars, which is this year. There's lots of buzz about it.
Pete, I love this movie so much, and I think it's so fresh and surprising, and we've seen this story before, but it's very specific, and and because my whole part of it takes place in a hospital, there's an odd sanctuary that happens in a hospital room, that emotions are heightened, comedy is heightened, irreverence is more. I think that setting became a character in this movie, and I think it made it different.
Yeah. It's a family comedy drama, and so much of that family is seen in that hospital room around your bed there. You'd get to do what I've heard you say, it's bed acting? I didn't know there was a term for it.
There's not.
Oh.
There's not. But I did this movie where I was bed actress, and another bed actress, and this woman who was a local in the town, Sophie and the Rising Sun. This movie I did, and she was an extra on the movie, and she, wide-eyed and innocent, and said to me, "I want to be an actress like you." She said, do you just do bad acting?
See?
I know it. It looks really, it's relaxing.
That wouldn't be a bad thing to go to an agent and say, look, I specialize in bad acting. Really good
No, it's
on
true.
pillows.
It's true. It's true.
Hilarious. But it's so, you know, this movie has so much heart and soul, and it's given you such a great, juicy role with you and Richard Jenkins, who plays your husband in it. And it's just heartbreaking in a lot of ways.
It's funny, and it seems like a real relationship, a real marriage of many years. I did this 14 days. I worked on this movie. The movie was shot in 22 days. So
by John Krasinski.
By John Krasinski,
who
was
and directed it.
In it and directed it, and he's seamless and wonderful as an actor, director. He kept the room as if there were no cameras there. It felt very real. I felt something very different than I have felt. I mean, not like Parisian, but in that came a same kind of transcending way for me. So it's a very special movie to me.
Times are good for Margo Martindale.
Yeah, things are really great.
That's so good. Thanks for coming
Thank
to the
you, Pete.
Actors
Thank you
Side.
so very
So
much.
great.